from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Christina Ellis Ramsey, personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. She and I will be answering your questions about your life and your money. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Rebecca's with us in Flint, Michigan. Hi, Rebecca. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Sorry, I'm a little nervous.
It's okay. You'll be all right. We've never lost a patient.
I've been grooming for 12 years now and been doing mobile grooming, started my own business 6 years ago. During the pandemic in 2020, I shut down and was going through a rough divorce and moved to be closer to my support system and my family. When I reopened, I kept some of my old clients, but it's time to let them go. My business is booming, and I have people waiting to get in with me. I just don't know how to let them go without disappointing them and without leaving myself open to caving in. So I can see myself telling them, hey, you guys have me till June. After June, you're going to have to find another groomer. And them going, we'll pay you more money. We'll do whatever we can to keep you, when it just needs to be a severed tie. So I'm calling Dave to see if you have any tools or advice on how I tackle that.
What's going on with the old clients? Why do they need to be severed?
Too far away?
It's nothing to do with them. They're good clients. They're an hour away.
Yeah.
So now I'm within 20 minutes of home. I have a kid in school. So once a week I'm driving an hour. I'm grooming all of them. They're fantastic on keeping their appointments and that. It's the drive back and forth when I could be making the same amount of money, if not more, close to home.
Well, and you're also losing all that time, which is important.
Yep.
Even if you got paid for it, it's still not the way to live your life.
Exactly. So, that's why I don't want to leave myself open for money.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's a very simple thing. You just say, it's too far a drive. After my divorce, I moved, and I'm way away, and I'm not able to do clients anymore that aren't within this range. Oh, well, I want you to come anyway. I'm sorry. I just wish I could, but I can't. Well, I'll pay you double. I'm sorry. I just wish I could, but I can't. And it's just, no is a complete sentence, Rebecca. I mean...
yeah, it's getting that no. I've been grooming for them since I was in my early 20s, so it's hard.
I don't care. I mean, there's things, you outgrow things change in life, and if their life revolves around their dog groomer, they need to grow a real life.
Well, Dave, should there be the option for them to drive to her?
If you want to do that, that's fine, yeah. If you want to,
I thought about that. That can make that kind of puts a wrench in things, because if they're late or don't show up, now I'm trying to find some place to groom from. The whole point of being mobile is convenience for the client. I show up and groom your dog.
Yeah. So you don't want to do it.
Then you're trying to schedule around me.
It doesn't make sense, And so, we had a lady that cleaned our house, and her husband moved to Oklahoma, and she wanted to go with her husband, so she can't clean her house anymore, because she's not going to come from Oklahoma to clean our house. And, she's a sweet lady. She's been with us for years. We love her. She's like a family member in a sense, but she's not a family member. And anybody with common sense knows that you're not going to come from Oklahoma to Nashville to clean a house. It doesn't make sense. So and that's the same discussion. It's just, you're going to have one or two that are unreasonable, emotional people, but that's just because they're unreasonable, emotional people, and you're just going to have to say, I can't do it. Now, I'm assuming you have enough. You said your business is booming. You got enough business lined up. You don't need them.
Oh, no. Going out there is literally, I don't want to disappoint them.
It's literally, you don't know how to say no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I just can't. The other thing you could do is, do you have a former competitor in that area that you could recommend with good conscience?
I don't. That would make it easier to say, here's somebody to go to. There's not a whole lot of groomers. It's a very rural area out there.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I can relate to your concerns as somebody who, Enneagram 3 doesn't like to make people unhappy. Those conversations can be kind of nerve-wracking, but if it helps, you may want to even write out a script before you go into the call where it's here are my boundaries, here's what I'm going to say, so that once you get in it, no matter what they say, even if they're like, oh man, and start making you feel bad, you've really thought through kind of the boundaries and what you want to say.
And the big thing you got to think about is this. When I get off the phone, there's only one result. It's over.
Okay.
Breaking up is hard to do, but it's over. It's over. It's over. There's no negotiation. You're not attempting to get anything else out of this. You're simply notifying them that after June, little Fluffy's going to have to get his hair cut by somebody else. Pretty simple. And they'll be okay. They're going to be all right. They'll be all right. I mean, Rufus, the Shih Tzu at Ramsey Place, gets a mobile groomer that comes in and cuts his Shih Tzu hair off, which definitely needs to happen. And we don't have this in-depth familial relationship with the dog groomer. It's okay. Okay. They cut the dog's hair. That's what they do. It's okay.
Dave,
don't make this bigger than it is. It's just, no, I can't cut their hair anymore. Just like that.
Yeah. Even if you run into intense dog dads, which apparently is a thing now.
Well, there aren't, the only dog dads are other dogs. So
I don't know. There's some people in this building who would argue with you.
People don't make little dogs. Other dogs make little dogs. So we need to keep this in mind. But yeah, it's a little bit out of control. I'm kind of with Deloney on this one. All right. Joseph is with us in Austin, Texas. Hi, Joseph. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
How you doing, Mr. Ramsey? I really appreciate your call. Me and my cousin Calvin have been listening to you for a long time, so it's greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. How can we help?
Okay, so I'm 19 years old. I'm in the Army. I'm in college. I'm about to get out in 2 years and some change. My plan is my ultimate goal is to buy a house. When I get out of the Army, I'm going to go back home to New Jersey, New York City area, and I get basic housing allowance, which is $3,500 for 4 years. I have about $25,000 saved up, and my plan is to, go.
During that 4 years, you're getting the $3,500 stipend because you're going to be getting your education, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Every month.
Yeah, good for you. Hey, thanks for your service. It sounds like a good plan. No, I would not buy a house. While you're going through school, just be a college student, a 21-year-old college student. The government's giving you housing allowance. You got some money to cover rent, and just go to school. Just go to school. Don't get in the house business. Get in the college graduation business. Focus on one thing, because after you get out of college, it's highly unlikely you're going to be in that area. So let's make a decision to just rent right now.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. The countdown to Christmas is on, and you have less than 2 days left to get free shipping and to get your gifts in time for Christmas. Go to RamseySolutions.com. Check out our new Ramsey apparel. We've got tees, hoodies, sweatshirts, all with your favorite Ramsey one-liners like "Live like no one else," or "Cash is king," or "Better than I deserve." And also check out Questions for Humans conversation cards. We have sold out of the Christmas version. We've sold out of the New Year's version, but we have the brand new regular second edition there is available, which will work just fine for your holiday get-together. And the Ramsey Gold Planner is out there, and the Rachel Cruz Red Wallet is out there. You have until December 8th, just a couple of days, to get free shipping and have your gifts in time for Christmas. RamseySolutions.com. Head on over there today. So NPR, somebody sent me the link today. I guess it was our producer, James, sent it. NPR, Stacy Smith, a writer for NPR, has a full article about a young lady paying off $18,000 worth of credit card debt, not making a lot of money, as a journalism living in Brooklyn. And she did this new craze that is sweeping the nation. Apparently Gen Z has a brand new fad out called cash stuffing.
It's a TikTok craze.
Living on cash on the envelope system. It's called cash stuffing.
Such a new concept.
Oh, it's brand new. Just came out. The TikTok guys just figured it out. And so it's fun, though. I'm glad she did it. So she learned how to do the envelope system. I heard about the envelope system 36 years ago the first time from a guy named Larry Burkett, and I have a collection of antique envelope systems from the 30s, the 20s, the 40s, and the 50s. It was quite the thing. There was little envelope systems like Rachel Cruz's wallet, had the red wallet that we have in the store right now, all the colors, but the brand new red one also. It has pockets in it that you label with categories in your budget, and some things in your budget. From the very first day I started teaching this, Larry Burkett stole it from your grandmother. I stole it from Larry Burkett and your grandmother. We've been teaching people to do the envelope system, which now is called cash stuffing, if you're a cool Gen Z TikToker. So that's how that works. And so here's how cash stuffing, now that I know what you call it, here's how the envelope system that we've taught for 40 years works. It's pretty simple. You have some categories in your budget, and they should be mostly, if not all, categories of things you spend when you are not paying bills. You're away from your desk. You're away from your home. So a grocery store could be car gas, could be entertainment budget. It could be restaurant budget. And I do recommend when you first start your budget, separate restaurants and groceries, because it'll make you realize what you're spending on restaurants. And so what we taught people to do, and we still teach people to do this, I just didn't know it was cool again. I mean, if you keep your clothes long enough, they come back. Just ask James. I mean, it's come back from the 90s, right? So, but so the idea is I'm going to spend X number of dollars for this pay period on groceries. I'll make up a number, $500, $400, whatever the number is. You actually get that much cash out of your paycheck and put the actual real dollars into the envelope marked groceries, or in the Rachel Cruz envelope system, and you label it groceries. And then you don't buy any groceries except out of that envelope. And you don't buy anything out of that envelope except groceries. It makes you keep your categories clean and true. And oh, by the way, when you are out of money in that category, stop buying. And so this young lady goes to the grocery store in this article with $46 in the grocery store. $46 cash.
For the week?
Apparently.
Or for the month?
No. It's for the week.
Okay.
And I believe I have to
that
go
is
back
a
and reread the article.
budget.
But
That's beans
I mean,
and rice.
but she's like, I have to stay away from the fancy olive oil aisle because I really yearn for that stuff, and I'm not going to get it. and she's buying day-old bread and gets a whole thing, a loaf of bread, and she's like, okay, that's 20 slices. That means I get 10 peanut butter and jellies out of that. And so, and she's going down $2.36, 80 cents, $6.38. And as she's walking through, she knows she can't go over $46 because that's what's in her food envelope.
Well, and it feels different when you're spending cold, hard cash. Like when you actually are handing over something in that transaction that you don't get back, there's an emotional attachment to it.
Well, the studies have shown, and one of the best studies was done at MIT, and they were studying the brainwave and brainwave activity. And when you spend with real cash, it activates the pain centers of the brain. When you spend with plastic, nothing, no brain. But but anyway, no, I mean, it's just dead. There's no, but in other words, you have an ouchie moment when you spend cash because you have a realization. And you're right, Rachel Cruz pointed out years ago, and I had never thought of it, but she and I were doing an event together, and she pointed out when you hand, you think about when you were a kid, if you wanted to trade one of your toys to another kid for their toy. So there's a trade, there's a transaction. You give them yours, that you don't get it back. They give you theirs. And so that's what happens with cash. We hand over president faces and we leave with a loaf of bread. So there's a transaction. There's a handing, you give up something and you leave with something. Visually, that doesn't happen when you spend with plastic. You give them the plastic, they hand you the plastic back and the loaf of bread. There's no transaction visually, to your point earlier. And that sounds so primitive, but it activates those parts of the brain, and you have to understand personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. So when you put systems in place that help you manage your behavior, it's a life hack. You're cutting a corner and making it work.
Well, and that's part of, when people say, I can keep credit cards and I pay them off every month. I'm not going to argue with the people who say that they can do that, but do you spend more when you do that? Do you not have that pain center go off? Like if you were actually spending cash, would you be a little bit more hesitant to buy that extra shirt, to buy that extra purchase that you maybe don't need?
Well, studies prove that you spend 12 to 18% more using plastic than using cash. I mean, we've got tons of research on this. This is not a new phenomenon. And in the digital world, we call it friction. The easier it is without realizing you spent money, without too many steps, then boom, you hit the PayPal, cling, boom.
Oh, Amazon.
You click on, your card is already on file, and you just click buy. And there's no recognition that money's actually spent. The weird thing is the studies also show that when you use a debit card versus a credit card, that there's more physiological reaction, recognition. I better have the money in that account, otherwise I just bounced a check when I use my debit card, right?
Yep.
Otherwise I've just gone into overdraft. And there's a physiological recognition of that in your body and in your brain versus when you lay the plastic down, you're just like, we'll figure it out later.
Mm-hmm. I think now, too, it's like the temptation keeps getting even higher because we've got Venmo where you can just transfer money so easy. A friend's going to be like, I'll pick up dinner and you can just send them money. We've got Amazon where it's one-click ordering. It's like everything. It's getting so easy to spend. So it's like even if you're using a debit card, I think it's getting more and more important to create boundaries around your spending so that you feel it, so that, even if it's an easy transaction, there's a little bit of pain or a little bit of boundaries to keep you in line.
Here's the other side of the equation. Retired school teacher, retired Methodist pastor, $3.7 million net worth December of 2021. We're debt-free multimillionaires drowning in a cosmic ocean of grace. Giving is the most fun we can have, not involving fat, sugar, or chocolate.
I feel like we're speaking to ourselves.
We're childless, but we have 16 kids that we support, so we have 16 children. Very cool. See, that's what happens when you stuff cash.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Jim and Ashley are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. Where do you guys live?
We live in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Oh, just up the road.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, welcome to Nashville. Good to have you.
Thank you.
And how much debt have you guys paid off?
$625,000.
Oh!
Wow.
How long did that take?
30 months.
Okay. There's a story here. What's your range of income during that 2.5 years?
We started around 45,000 and ended at 67 plus a side hustle, or excuse me, 60,000 plus a $7,000 side hustle.
Gotcha. What do y'all do for a living?
I am an office manager at Crow Estate Planning and Probate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a stay-at-home dad.
Cool. Good for you. Okay. How do you get rid of $600,000 on $45,000 income? That doesn't work. You must have sold the house.
We sold our rental in California.
Ah, okay. All right. And what did it sell for?
It sold for $810,000, and we used some of that money to pay off our house in Clarksville, Tennessee.
That's fun.
Yep.
What's the house in Clarksville worth?
I think it's about $325,000.
Okay. Very good. Very cool. Good for you guys. Okay, so you paid that off, and do you have any other debt?
Nope.
That was it. You're just now
it.
officially weird people. No mortgages, paid for house and everything.
We did have we also paid off 55,000 in a combined total of student loans, credit cards, a car, and we had a turf payment.
Oh, you did have other debt. Okay.
We did.
All
yes.
right, cool. All right, cool. So we knocked all of that out and the mortgage with the sale of the rental.
Correct.
That's simple. And it took 30 months to sell it?
We started for the first 55,000. That was about the first year and a half, and the last little bit was just kind of getting the house sold and just kind of letting the money go to pay off that house.
So you kind of didn't want to sell the rental at first?
No, we thought renting was gonna be fun, and it's passive income, and it honestly kind of turned out to be a nightmare.
Yeah, I bet.
So
I mean, you managed to do it right in the middle of COVID too.
Yeah, that kind of we always thought maybe we'd go back to California. That's where we're originally from. We moved out here shortly after we got married, and we're like, maybe we'll go back, maybe we won't. And then we kind of looked at each other and said, are we really going to go back?
So what got you started on the Ramsey way?
Well, in about 2020, I started with the podcast. And about a month or so in, I had sent a text message to a mentor that I had. And I said, hey, I'm listening to the Dave Ramsey Show. What do you think about this guy? I'm interested to hear your piece. And he said, Dave's a great guy. Keep listening. And so that kind of got me hooked. I bought the Total Money Makeover shortly after. And like I said, the rest is history.
Wow. Very cool. Just like that. So Ashley, he's got the podcast going. Is he giving you a hard time?
We've talked about reading the book, and he pretty much just every day I'd come home and he'd talk about the plan and the baby steps, and then we would talk about knocking each one of them out, and then he listens to the podcast every day, and so when we're in the car we listen to it or we watch it on YouTube. So
just no fun anymore.
It's really cool though to see everybody come from different walks of life and really stick with the plan and be able to pay everything off.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So you sold the house. What else did y'all do in this journey? Because you mentioned the side hustle, a $7K side hustle. What was that?
So we cleaned my offices that I work for in Clarksville and in Hopkinsville.
Okay.
That's awesome. So what would you say is the key? Because there's a lot of people who are looking at that number thinking, whoo, that's impressive. What's the key to getting out of debt?
Stephen Covey has a really good quote that says, begin with the end in mind. And our definitely end goal was to be stress-free. to really, like you said, live like no one else so that, we could live like no one else. And I think that was our biggest goal. We wanted to change our family tree. We didn't want to be like everybody else, because normal sucks.
Amen. Good for you guys. Well done. Hey, we're proud of you. Who are your biggest cheerleaders?
Each other and our families. We have Jim's mom here from California to celebrate with us today as well.
Very fun. Awesome. Good stuff. We got the Live and Give bundle for you. That's the Total Money Makeover book, the Baby Steps Millionaires book. That's the next chapter in your story. And a 1-year membership to Financial Peace University, the brand new version that has George and Rachel and Deloney and me and everybody's in it. So be sure and watch that through if you haven't, or give it all away, or whatever you want to do. It's for you. It's the Live and Give bundle. So very, very proud of you. All right, what's your child's name and age? Let's get him in the shot here.
His name is James, and he will be 2 in January.
All right. So James came just about, right in the middle of all this.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's part of the deal, huh? Good job. All right. Fun stuff. I love it. All right, Jim and Ashley and James, Clarksville, Tennessee, $625,000 paid off in 30 months, making $45,267. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're
debt-free! Yeah! That is how it's done. I love it. Wendy is with us in Omaha, Nebraska. Hi, Wendy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate that.
Sure.
The reason why I'm calling is I wanted to know if my ideas of moving to Japan to be close to my grandma is a financially good idea. I'm a school teacher for the past 20 years, and I raised all my 3 kids as a single mom. So I don't really have much of a retirement other than the 403B that I received from the school.
Mm-hmm.
And I do own a house. I mean, I think I still owe about $98,000, but it's worth about $275,000.
Good. How old are you?
49.
Cool. So you want to go to Japan and do what?
Be maybe administrator. I do have a 2 master's degree, so I'm hoping to get into an international school or something and get into administration.
You'd be near your grandmother. You'd be making a lot of money, a lot more than you make now, right?
Right. I'm hoping to.
No, I wouldn't go if you don't, because it's very high cost of living.
Right.
And so, I talked to a guy yesterday, as a matter of fact, that is in the IT world, and he moved his family, and they lived in Japan for 3 years, and the company he worked for furnished all housing, and they doubled his income. And so they looked at it as a short-term adventure, and he piled up a huge pile of cash in a short period of time. But if you're going to go over there and make the same amount of money and the cost of living be twice as much as it is where you are, no thank you. I don't want to do that.
Okay.
What do you make now?
I make a 70.
You should make 100.5 with a master's in administrative.
Yeah, I haven't tried for the administrative positions yet. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but no, I wouldn't go over there and make the same. You're going to go backward if you do. Mm-hmm. What about your kids? You're going to leave them behind, right?
Right. Well, they're older. The oldest
they don't count anymore.
Married. Yeah. Well, youngest one is still with me, but then, I'm also concerned about my house. I do have 4-bedroom home.
I would just sell it.
3 bathrooms.
Just sell it. How long are you going to be in Japan?
Well, my grandma's 92, so I just didn't want her to be alone there.
How long are you going to be in Japan?
Maybe 5 years.
Sell your house.
Okay.
Buy another one when you come home. You don't want to manage a rental property or an empty house internationally. You'll take all the fun out of this experience.
Mm-hmm. So what do I do with the money that I get from the house?
Put it in an investment to buy a house with when you get back.
All of them?
All of them? All the money?
Mm-hmm, all of the... I'm thinking $150,000 I'd probably get.
Yeah, just put it in some good mutual funds, and so it'll be there when you get home, and it will have grown, and you'll be able to buy another house. And you're going to make a whole bunch of money, so you're going to add to that investment while you're going to Japan, or you don't go. That's what I would do.
Well, and with this couple that just paid off, their debt, they didn't want to stay in the rental business, and managing that while in Japan would be
No. So much wrong with this. This is the Ramsey Show. Hey guys, thank you for joining us. Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. If you like this show and you want to help us out, we would appreciate the help. We do need the help. We need you to do 3 things regarding the show. Number 1, if you watch the show on YouTube, subscribe. If you listen on a podcast, subscribe, versus just dialing in and checking it out. The subscriptions change the algorithms on the internet and on the different platforms, and it serves it up to more and more people to be recommended if you're subscribing. So thank you for that. Leaving a review does the same thing. 5-star reviews only, please. Thank you very much. And share the show. If you're listening on talk radio, tell your friends about your local radio station to tune in. And, of course, you've got share functions on Spotify or Apple or YouTube that you can actually send the link and click a share button, whatever, however that particular platform works. But help us spread the word. It turns out all of our internal data indicates by far our best promotional thing to help us get the word out of this information is you telling someone about it. You are a big deal. Thank you. We appreciate you. Jared is in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Hi, Jared. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Christina. I hope you guys are having a good day today.
We are. How can we help?
So my question kind of in a whole package deal today is my grandparents had their retirement funds in a annuity that matured after 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And about around last year, I looked into what their retirement plan was, and it looked like that their retirement was basically getting 0 interest per year on that annuity, but they were still taking out their fees and their expenses, that the service that they had it in. And so I decided that I was going to manage their funds for them, and I decided to pull that retirement out and roll it over into a traditional IRA. But doing that, it was a 5% penalty because it was only 5 years into the annuity, and it was supposed to
Oh, you made that up in 1
years.
year. That was brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah, if they were making 0 and you moved them into mutual funds making 10 or 12, they made 10 or 12 the first year. They lost 5, so they only netted 7. After that, they make 10 or 12. So absolutely, I would have done that.
The only thing is, it was around last year, and now the market crashed.
Oh, the market didn't crash. The market went down, and it hadn't come back up. But, I mean, overall, over the scope of their lives, unless they die this year, this is a brilliant move. But, no, I mean, you know the market can come up and down, but the average of the market has been 11.8% since it started.
Mm-hmm.
And so, let's say you cost them 5 and you made them 11, then you made them a net of 6. Now, this year you may or may not do that. Probably not in 2022, but 2023 you'll be fine. And 24, you're going to be just fine. I mean, some years you could make 17%, right? I mean, it's an average.
Yeah, I guess I was just nervous because I transferred it all over. They dropped. I mean, there's probably $100K in it, and then $5,000 off the top just came off of that.
Well, and then they lost another 12.
20%.
Yeah, then they lost another 12 or 13. Yeah. But it's not. You didn't lose it until you cash it in.
Right.
No one gets hurt on a roller coaster except those that jump off during the ride.
Yeah.
You did the right thing, Jared.
Okay.
It's exactly what I would have done.
All right, perfect. That's all I want to hear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Thank
hard.
you so much.
Yeah, thank you. So the important thing to remember, folks, is this. You cannot take a single snapshot when the market's down and use that to make your judgments about your long-term investments. That's a moment in time. You can't take a single snapshot when the market's way up and go, well, I made 23% on my money last year, which I've had years I made more than that, you know?
Well,
but that's not the norm. I mean, you can't count on 23%. No, but you can count on the averages.
Well, and Jared, I didn't ask his age, but he sounds young. And if he's Gen Z millennial, this may be his first time seeing the market go down significantly. So it is kind of scary. If you've, gone through this season with COVID where it's been lots of highs and a lot of people have been winning in the market, and then all of a sudden it goes down, it's easy to go, oh my gosh, I've never seen this before. But somebody like Dave, you've talked about how you've seen the roller coaster throughout the years.
Somebody, are you saying I'm old? Are you saying I'm old? Somebody old like Dave. Yeah. But I mean, seriously, that's it. Pan back from the moment and get not only a little bit of the future in your peripheral vision, but a whole bunch of the past in your peripheral vision, and you see the trend across something more than 1 month or 1 year. Because if you take a 1 month or 1 year trend in any investment and use that to make your decisions, you're going to make a bad decision.
Now, I wonder, too, if some of that anxiety he was feeling was the fact that it's his grandparents' money, and they're probably needing that money right now. What would you say to that concern of, if it was Jared's money specifically, it'd be a lot easier to go, okay, I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to retire for 40 years.
Here's the thing. If you left it where it was sucking.
For sure.
It was going to go, it's costing him money every year, sitting where it is. He did the right thing. His anxiety is that he just wanted to make sure he did the right thing.
For sure. But for retirees right now who are feeling really nervous about the market, what would you say to them?
You don't need the money. When you retire with $1 million, you don't cash $1 million out and set it at the kitchen table. You leave the $1 million in the investment, and you live off the income. And so if this year the investment didn't go up, and so by taking some money, okay, let's take do this. Let's take the 100,000. Okay, market's down 15%. All right, and you wanted to live on 10% of your investments. So if you had $100,000, you wanted to live on $10,000. Okay, so you pull out $10,000, you got 90, and it loses 15%, so you're down 25%. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the next year, it comes up 10%, 15%. Comes right back up, and you still pull off $10,000. If you keep doing that math every year, up and down, up and down, up and down, and it averages 10 or 11%, and you're pulling off 10%, you will get to even. You'll get back to the 100, and the 100 will just sit there over time. Some years it'll be 110, some years it'll be 90, and it'll be back and forth, right? But you're pulling off 10 the whole time, and it's gonna vacillate back and forth. So you're gonna be just fine. And so that's the thing. It goes down, but it's not down permanently. So it'll keep coming up, and they can live off the income. So the point is, you never, in any of this case, took out the 100. All you took out was the amount you need to live on. And then it went down a little, and then when it comes back, it needs to come back the amount you took out plus how much it lost before you're back to your 100. And it will over time. It will over time. I mean, if it didn't, it'll be the first time in history. Brandon is with us. Brandon is in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hi, Brandon. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. Go fast. I'm short on time.
I got you, Dave. Well, thank you so much for taking my call. Basically, my question is when I was in college, racked up a bunch of student debt. We're halfway through it. And during college, my mom promised to help me take care of the Parent Plus loans that she took out. And, as the holidays come up, it's, really started to weigh down on me, and wanted to know what your thoughts are on that, or if it's a conversation to re-bring up, what would that look like? Because we're halfway, and it's just been a really long journey.
I'm confused. Your mom has a Parent Plus loan.
Yes, for my school. So
Parent Plus loans are in her name, and she took that loan out, and she said she was going to pay it.
She was going to help me pay it, pretty much match what I pay, or 50-50 split.
And now she doesn't want to?
Or it's just something that's gotten swept under the rug, and she hasn't taken responsibility to help me or pay it.
Well, I think we talked about it. You took this loan out. It's in your name. I can't just leave it at your doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom. It's not in your name, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anything you do to help her pay her loan is because you made an agreement, and you should honor that agreement, but you're not legally liable in any way for this loan. It's a Parent Plus loan. It's in her name. And so I think we give her a little wake-up call, my point. Mom, you have a loan.
Yeah, she needs to be feeling some of that heaviness too.
Yeah, you have a loan. We promised each other that we would work that loan off together. I'm not going to knock that loan off by myself because you have a loan. And I think some version of that with more kindness than I have in my voice right now is how your holiday discussion sounds. This is The Ramsey Show.
Have you been inspired to make a change with your money? Want to know where to start? Take our 3-minute money quiz to get a plan you can follow. Go to RamseySolutions.com and search for Get Started to get a plan for your money.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Christina Ellis, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Melissa in Texas starts off this hour. Hi, Melissa. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. I'm excited to be on your show. I listen to you a lot when I'm in the tractor.
Well,
How
thank
are
you.
y'all?
Great. Better than we deserve. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. I have an investment question.
Okay.
You say stay with what you know. Well, the only stock I know anything about is livestock. we have what I would consider to be a small beef operation, and then we do. My husband and I do hoof trimming as a real job. So we're recently we have our land, our house. We're debt free.
Mm-hmm.
Very recently, we got our tractors and everything paid off.
Congratulations.
But hoof trimming is very, it's a cattle hoof trimming job. So it's very labor intensive, and we're in our 50s. So our longevity is, maybe another 5 or 6 years doing that. So we're looking to really hunker down and put some money somewhere else. We're technically millionaires, but most of it is in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
That we want to stay in ag. We want to leave it to our kids. They want to farm it, and we want it to stay in farmland.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to have to sell it, to live on.
Good.
We're not looking to retire. We don't want to retire.
And you're 100% debt free.
Yes, sir.
And your taxable income this year will be about what?
55 to 65, depending on how the cattle business runs.
Okay. All right. Well, we would tell you to put as much as you can towards retirement, and you misquoted me. You said, I say to put money in what you know. I say don't put money in something unless you understand it, but just because you don't know about something doesn't mean you can't go learn about something. It makes a great livestock joke. That was a great line. I loved it. But you need to go sit down with a good SmartVestor Pro with the heart of a teacher and start to learn enough about mutual funds from someone with the heart of a teacher that you get comfortable doing some good mutual funds. And both of you need to open up Roth IRAs right now.
Okay.
And then you need to do more than that probably, but let's at least start with 2 Roth IRAs.
Okay.
Well, and the beautiful thing is, you're gonna.
We have 3 rentals that we've paid off over the years too.
Okay,
that
good.
We are coming in, but
good.
I mean, those. Well, one of them we don't want sold. It's on the farmland, but
I'm not suggesting you sell them, but you do need to get top dollar rental out of them and manage them all the way to the wall, right?
Yes, sir. I was just wondering if that's what we should. If we should throw our money, try to.
Well, 2 Roth IRAs only $16,000 a year.
16 a year.
Yeah, that's not. It's $8,000 a piece for you two. It's not. That's not gonna keep you from getting a rental. Okay. Now, I'm not gonna tell you to go into debt to go get more rentals, and you don't have any money right now much, so I don't think you're gonna be buying a rental anytime soon. But let's get you a couple Roth IRAs started, and because I'd love for you to look up in 10, 15 years and have $200,000 or $300,000 just in those.
Okay.
And you could live off of that money without having to cash out any of the acreage.
Okay.
And I know it feels overwhelming because you're, like you're saying, you don't know this area and this space, but the amount you're going to need to learn is not a lot when you sit down with a smart investor. You need to have somebody who has the heart of a teacher, but they're going to really walk this through you. So some of that intimidation factor, once you sit down with them, that's going to go down. And you don't need to become an investment professional yourself. You don't need to understand exactly how all the details of the stock market work. You just need to figure out, the best strategy for your money.
Well, you got to understand the basics of what you're putting your money in, so that if you hear something on the news, it doesn't freak you out. And that's why I always say don't put money in something you don't understand. Because if you do it because I said do it, or Christina said do it, or some investment professional said do it, the first time it goes sideways a little bit, you're going to go bananas. But if you know what's going on and you understand the history of the market, you understand the history of what you're doing, then it doesn't add stress, it lowers stress. So knowledge is what keeps the stress away. Knowledge is what keeps the panic away.
Well, what's interesting, I think right now, for some reason, real estate and being a landlord seems easier to a lot of people. It seems like that's going to be the lower stress way. But like we heard in a debt-free scream earlier, like we've heard in some of these calls, there's a lot of stress to that. That is not necessarily the easiest way, even if it seems easier because it's a piece of property that's on, your land, or it's something that seems a little bit more familiar.
Well, real estate a good paid-for rental house, if you purchased it properly and you manage it properly, will make you more than mutual funds will make you. But it's also about 10 to 20x more hassle. I mean, with mutual funds, all you got to do is open up a computer and click. With rental property, you got to deal with a heat and air guy. You got to deal with the water heater going out, the leaky roof. You got to deal with a tenant that's, brought in 17 cats into your house, and the only way to get the cat smell out is burn the house down. I mean, you got to deal with all this stuff. And that's a whole different thing than just opening a computer. And so you don't make as much on mutual funds, but you have nowhere near the hassle. So I personally have a lot of both. But I'm willing as a landlord and able as a landlord for 30, almost 40 years now, managing my own properties, and with Rachel's husband Winston running that part of our company, to take on that stress and deal with the part of that. But there's a hassle factor involved that you're exactly right.
Dave, I feel like you probably have some good landlord horror stories.
Oh, way too many.
Do you have one that comes to mind immediately?
Well, I mean, it's just the thing is, it's usually got to do with someone that didn't believe us when we said you have to pay your rent.
Mm.
I mean, it's like, what? And we're like, no, if you don't pay your rent, you have to leave. Oh, here's another one. We went up on the rent because the rental market went up. And so now we're not Christians.
Ouch.
Because Christians can't go up on the rent, Well, what kind of horse crap is that? That's absolutely ridiculous. So it's just dumber than a rock.
I was wondering
if it's not Christian to charge a market rate. Of course it's Christian to charge a market rate. You charge a market rate for your employer when they pay you to work there. And if you don't get paid enough, you go work somewhere else. Well, that's not unchristian. That's just managing your life well. But yeah, that's the kind of landlord stuff you get. You get everything in the world. You get all this emotion and all this drama and all these other things in the residential properties. Now, the commercial properties are a lot easier.
I was wondering if the 17 cat story was real. If that's something
I've had them. Yeah. I mean, we've had them. We have a no pet policy. We love dogs and don't love cats, but we don't even allow them to have dogs. I mean, because they just tear up everything.
Mm.
Yeah, so we've got a no pet policy, and sometimes they just choose to not abide by that, which means they choose to leave.
I was hoping for something juicy, Dave.
It's not that juicy. It's just drama. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Christina Ellis, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. 9 million Americans were wrongly told they were approved for student loan forgiveness. CBS News reporting about 9 million Americans with student loans who had applied for Biden administration's student debt relief program mistakenly received emails last month that said their applications had been approved. The messages were part of updates the Department of Education issued in November to inform 16 million debt relief applicants that had been approved to have up to $20,000 forgiven. But an additional 9 million people received emails saying they received loan forgiveness when they had not been approved for relief because the process was halted due to legal challenges. And others who hadn't yet applied for the student loan relief program also received the email. The error was made by the Federal Services, a contractor for the Education Department, which sent the emails. The mistake may only compound confusion among some borrowers about the debt relief program, which for now remains in limbo due to several legal challenges, with the Supreme Court earlier this month agreeing to hear one of the cases in February.
Oh, I saw this yesterday, and this just annoys me. Come on. There's enough confusion around this already. 9 million people getting an email saying they've been approved. Why were there even emails sent out in the first place saying they've been approved when this hasn't passed? This program hasn't passed. It's not in action. Why were 16 million people, quote unquote, approved when they haven't actually been approved? The program hasn't been approved.
Well, Biden had approved it, and he had issued the announcement. But none of the systems were in place to cause the approvals to actually happen. And knowing that there were legal challenges to his program, which may yet need a congressional approval, we don't know. We'll see. Lots of stuff up in the air. But given all of that, this is just, it's a political play. They accidentally told 50% more people that they had approval than did, accidentally. So at a minimum, we have a level of incompetence that is only tolerated at the federal government level. This level of incompetence, if Ramsey Solutions sent out an email to 50% more people than we were supposed to, telling them we were going to give them money. Can you imagine? Yeah, that level of incompetence in the business world, how we would have reacted to the people internally that did that.
Right. It would be a train wreck.
Yeah, and instead they went, oh, oops.
Well, and I think that's what's so crazy is, the 16 million people who got the email that was, supposedly correct, and then they're sending out these refund checks. How do they know the difference about what's going on?
You don't. You can't tell, because you don't know if you're got one of the real emails or one of the ones that was wrong.
But even if they got the real email and then they got the refund check.
There's still no forgiveness because it's not been gotten through the court system.
Right. So even if the semantics of the timeline of this 16 million were before the court order and then this 9 million's after, right now, the reality is the program hasn't passed. Like right now, it is still in limbo. There is no guarantee right now that student loan forgiveness is going to happen. It might.
None.
But there's not a guarantee.
No guarantee. None whatsoever. And, but I mean, this is at a minimum a gross level of incompetence. Or if you wanted to be more cynical, you could go, well, they did this on purpose.
What do you think, Dave? Did they do this on purpose?
It's too large to be an oopsie. I mean, if you said, okay, 16 million and we sent out 1 million as an oops. Okay. But 9 million? The effort it takes to get 9 million emails out? That's not one little guy with 2 keystrokes. That's not how that works. So, I mean,
I feel like, okay, so Dave, people have been asking me, do you think that there is any chance this program is going to be approved? And I know a lot of people have strong opinions that they feel like there's no way that it's going to be approved. But I kind of feel like we have a government that is so obsessed with debt that they've literally led us trillions of dollars into debt. They've made moves like this. I mean, I could see it going both ways in the sense of like, they're not afraid to put us more in debt.
There's so many things have happened in all areas of our society in the last 10 years that I thought would never happen in my life. So what do I know? I certainly wish it was not going to be approved, but I don't, and I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. And I know for sure that if you've got $25,000 in student loan debt and $10,000 of it goes away with this, that I'm 100% sure you will not hate yourself for just going in and paying off your debt, because it is your debt. There's that key part of it too. So you clean up your life and you don't wait on the government to fix your life. I can't really figure out what the flip they're going to do. It's the island of misfit toys. You don't know where they're going to come from next. What they're playing politics with it for sure. But under there somewhere is also the belief that they should actually do this at some point. And so I don't know how long they got to wear out the court system, whether they got to run it through Congress, what has to happen. But, oh, my gosh.
I feel like for me, if it gets approved and people get their loans forgiven, like I will cheer for the people who are out of debt. I will cheer for the people who had their debt reduced. What scares me, though, is what is happening with kind of the trickery and confusing people. And that's where I'm like, go ahead and pay off your loans now, because that is the thing you can do to control the situation. This is so up in the air. I think this is really confusing a whole generation on what the responsibility is with debt and what they need to do to get control of their finances. So, man, it just breaks my heart what's happening, because I've seen the pain in people's voices when they're like, man, I thought I was debt free. I was counting on this $20,000 in student loan forgiveness. I'm a Pell Grant recipient. And then they're like, wait, what? Am I debt free or am I not? And that's just sad. You can get debt free regardless.
This is what happens when you wait on the government to fix your life. All right. Up next is going to be Trevor in Washington, D.C. Hi, Trevor. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I figured I'd just give a quick little background in my question, and then we can go from there. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Cool. So I'm 23 years old, and I make $75,000 a year. I have $6,000 of debt and about $4,000 in the bank. So I'm halfway through a lease. I lived with my parents up until I was 22. The situation that had been occurring repeatedly kept happening at my house and made it unsafe for me to live there. So I did it's a financially dumb thing, but I feel like it was what I had to do at the time. I just looked for the closest apartment that would get me out. So I'm paying $2,000 a month to live here, and it makes me sick every time I have to pay that. And I'm not going to have a ton saved up when my lease is up in 6 months. I'm kind of just looking for some advice on what some next steps could be.
Why don't you find a more affordable rental?
Yeah, so that's one of my things, but I've also just been thinking that I know that buying a house is the smart way to go.
You're broke.
And then yeah.
You don't need to buy a house when you're broke. It's not a smart way to go.
I guess the way that I was thinking about it is, it seems silly to me to have to pay rent while also saving for a house, but I guess
it's silly for you to buy a house when you're broke, because Murphy will move in your spare bedroom. Everything on the stupid house will break, and you'll look up and you're $60,000 in debt trying to keep a freaking house running. Owning a home is not necessarily cheaper than renting. As a matter of fact, it's oftentimes not cheaper than renting. On the long haul, the fact that it goes up in value and grows tax-free on your personal residence up to $500,000 married filing jointly, it is a good investment, and we believe in home ownership. But no, I would not tell you to go buy a house right now. What you need to do is go find a really, really cheap rental. You bought this rent. You went and picked out a rental you couldn't afford because you were emotional. Now you're the other side of that crisis.
Hey, Trevor, stay on the line. We're going to gift you Financial Peace University on us. We want you to walk through this so you can get the very clear path for you.
Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. Jeff is with us in North Carolina. Hi, Jeff. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for your time.
Sure. How can we help?
My wife and I did your Financial Peace University class around 2 years ago, and it was a absolute phenomenal class. My wife had ended up quitting her job around the same time, and we paid off way more debt with one income than we ever did with two. And we've been a single income family for the past 2 years, and we were doing quite well on baby step number 2. We've had some unfortunate things kind of happen, and we kind of turned into the ish pig, and we're back down to step 1, and we're trying to get gazelle intense again. And kind of want your opinion on and some guidance on what would be the best route. We've been working with the law firm to try to get my wife approved for disability. She does have some medical conditions, and she was denied once, but they did state that she was partially disabled. So we're debating whether continuing down that route is the best route, or she's talked about going back to work to get a part-time job, possibly with still being able to take care of the kids before and after school, or whether it would be better for her to go back to college for some kind of associate's degree. So we're just kind of debating on which route would possibly have the best benefit long term. And I was kind of hoping you could give your insight or your opinion on which one would potentially be a good route to try to continue to go towards.
I feel like there's a bit more with the situation. So originally, when she quit her job, did she quit to stay home with the kids?
Her mother was on hospice. Her mother had passed away, and it was really the only way she was able to spend time with her mom. So she had left her job, and she was a stay-at-home mom. And after she was working a full-time job, and the amount we were paying for daycare costs, and the amount of money she was bringing home after the amount of daycare money we were paying, it was just I get a good amount of opportunities for overtime in my job. So for the past 2 years, it's just been more cost effective for me to consistently work overtime to help compensate that lack of income.
How does that make her disabled?
She has a medical condition called ankylosing spondylitis. It's labeled as an autoimmune disease, and it's inflammation of the spine. So when you look at her spine, it's not aligned properly, and her pelvis is. But not
one time in this discussion did you say she quit work because she was disabled. It was all other reasons she quit work.
Correct. She definitely had limitations. She enjoyed working, and she enjoys being a stay-at-home mom. She definitely. We've been debating on what is the best. Our family life is definitely. We've enjoyed the benefits of having my wife home taking care of the kids, and we've enjoyed that opportunity.
What does she want to do?
We're both kind of 50-50. She enjoyed working, but she enjoys being able to spend time with our kids every single day. So it's really kind of just coming down to money-wise, what is the best choice. When I work overtime, I typically make a little over $30 an hour in overtime.
Well, I mean, money, if you just want more money, it always is going to involve more work.
What can she
Correct.
handle?
So if you say money-wise, it's always going to be, work. But if you're saying I'm willing to trade off and I'll work overtime so she can be home with the kids, then that's cool too. But you know, if you're only making the decision on money, then which is a bad way of doing it. But if you're only saying money-wise, then you would always go to more work. But there's an end to that. So, based on her physical limitations and her desire to be home, it doesn't sound like she's going to be doing a lot of work.
Yeah. Yes, that's definitely correct. I mean, I wasn't sure if it would be even the thought of maybe going back to school for some kind of associate's degree would.
But only if she wants to work.
Idea. Yeah, which
and right now she doesn't. Right now she's partially disabled, and 100% wants to be home with the kids. The only reason this is on the table is more money.
Correct. I mean, right now, this time, we've definitely kind of had ups and downs financially, and
what do you make?
We're trying to get gazelle intense. About $50,000 a year without overtime.
And how much debt have you got, not counting your house?
We just actually sold our house, and we moved from Virginia to North Carolina to kind of do a restart to pay off. We had about $20,000 in debt, so right now we're pretty much down to zero. We decreased our monthly expenses.
Not pretty much.
$1,000.
You are. You don't have any debt.
Correct.
Okay. So you're debt-free, you're renting, and you make $50,000 a year.
Correct.
Good. Okay.
Do you feel like you all are still living-ish?
Yes, absolutely. We absolutely were doing ish. We've definitely within the past month we've been trying to do our family budget meetings every 2 weeks. We do kind of Google Excel spreadsheets, to kind of make sure we're budgeting down to the dollar. We definitely weren't doing that, and we definitely were ish. And that's definitely
jump on and get the Every Dollar app. It's 1,000 times better than stupid Google.
Yeah,
it's free.
When we did the family, when we did it, it was your class, Financial Peace University. The Every Dollar app was phenomenal.
Yeah, well, go get the app. It's free, and you can run the basic budget on it. If you're part of Financial Peace, you can do the expanded version and tie it to your bank and all that. But the Google spreadsheets suck. I wouldn't do that. So I mean, just do something. And so here's the thing. You guys need to make a list of the things that. And then force rank their importance, okay? Thing one.
Okay.
We're no longer ish. We're going to be hardcore managing money. Thing two. The pain, physical pain, and discomfort associated with disability. Thing three. I want to spend time with the kids, in your wife's voice. Thing four. I want to go back to school and have a new career. Thing five, we want to save towards a house. You cannot do all of these at one time. You cannot address the disability, stay home with the kids, and work and go to school and expand. She cannot do it. You need to pick one. And you need to go with that one for now. And you need to, and say, so it sounds something like this, okay? In order for her to be at home, you are working overtime and you are going to stick to a freaking budget like your life depended on it.
Right.
Or she's going back to school and going to have a big career, and I'm not going to whine about not being with the kids all the time, or about my disability, or, whatever. But let's pick a plan and go all in on that plan that is a sustainable plan mathematically.
Well, and she could go get more work, but if you're living ish, it's not even going to feel like you are making more money.
Her income is not the problem.
Right.
It's that you guys are not. You're trying to do 73 things at once. There's you've got to force rank this stuff and go, okay, I'm willing to pay a price to be at home with the kids, or it's inconvenient, but for right now, I want to make more money and get us back into a house in our new place in North Carolina. So for right now, for this season, I'm going to work like a crazy person, both of you. In all of these scenarios, you're going to get on your stinking budget and stick to it. Because it's what takes you to where you want to go. It's the vehicle, it's the car that's taking you to your destination is the budget. And it's the indication of whether or not you're half-butt doing this stuff or not. And you got to have to go, okay, because you cannot half-butt do this stuff, her stay at home, and you guys, it's not sustainable.
Well, and if she goes back to work and she's dealing with the pain associated with that disability, I don't want your money to just be flying out the window. If she's willing to work and deal with all that, I want y'all to actually see progress from that.
Yeah, you really got to you need to turn the TV off, put the kids to bed, and really kind of write these things down and force rank them. This is the most important one. This is the second most important one. The fifth and sixth ones, you're not going to get to do right now. You don't have the bandwidth. No one does. This is The Ramsey Show. Christina Ellis, Ramsey Personality, is our co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. We're in the holiday season where our brains are focused on buying presents and decorating our homes and all the Christmas and New Year's celebrations, and then all of a sudden, it's January. And in some people's cases, they wake up in January with a financial hangover. And in other cases, it's just the chance to start fresh, and you recommit to no longer being ish. Set yourself up to start the new year strong by joining us for one of our wealth building live events. The first one is here in Nashville on January the 12th. It's a one-night event, and it'll help you kick off 2023 feeling confident about your money, even in this crazy economy. Join me and all the Ramsey personalities as we walk you through a simple but proven plan to get on track and build wealth, even in this weird inflation recession crap going on. It is possible. We just wrapped up and sold out our fall season. We had a sold-out spring season before that. This spring will sell out as well. It hasn't yet, though. You can still get tickets. Again, we're kicking it off here in the Ramsey headquarters, January the 12th in Nashville. February the 16th is Indianapolis. February the 23rd is Austin. Salt Lake City is April the 24th, and Anaheim is May the 2nd. Passes right now are $49. They will go on up after the first of the year. Tickets for these events always sell out early. And make sure you go ahead and get your seats now. By the way, $49 makes a great stocking stuffer for some of you. The Building Wealth Live Tour. Get your tickets. RamseySolutions.com/events. Danielle is in Biloxi, Mississippi. Hi, Danielle. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I had a question. My husband and I have been married for 9 years, and we've handled our finances pretty terribly, and we've kind of been having a moment of reckoning. We've been looking into trying to start budgeting, but we've kind of gotten ourselves in such a bind that to start budgeting, we're not really sure how to. There's not a lot left out of each check to be able to put back. So
got a log jam.
How do we start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your household income?
It depends. He works a lot of overtime. He makes $28.10 an hour, so give or take, he brings home about $1,100-ish a week.
So he's making $50,000-$60,000 a year take home pay, so making $80,000. And you are at home with the kiddos?
Yes, sir. I have 3 little girls.
Okay, what age?
They're 8. My middle one will be 6 in about 3 weeks, and I have a 1-year-old.
And how much debt do you have, not counting your house?
Not counting our house, it's around $26,000, give or take.
On what?
That's vehicle included. A lot of credit card debt, and our vehicle, and 1 or 2 loans.
What do you owe on the car?
About $9,200-ish.
other car's paid for?
No, sir. We owe about $9,000.
I said the other car is paid for?
Oh, yes, sir. My husband's little truck is paid for.
Okay, good.
And you said that he's been working quite a bit of overtime. How many hours has he been doing a week?
He's putting in around 60 plus hours a week.
Okay. So about 20 over. So does he seem pretty maxed out in his ability to work any extra?
Yeah, he's exhausted. I mean, he's still plugging along, but I don't know how to help. I want to know how to help him, and I can't go work outside of the home with 3 kids. By the time I don't really have any skills. We're Christians. We believe in the life staying home with the children, and so I don't really have any skills as far as the workforce. So, but even if I did find a job, all it would go to daycare. So it would be pointless.
Rent or own your home right now?
We're paying a mortgage right now.
Okay, and how much is that a month?
$975.
Okay.
All right, there's nothing in this math that you gave us that screams stupid. Okay?
Okay.
But what you're dying death by 1,000 cuts. It's a lot of little stuff.
Right.
Because sometimes when I talk to someone in your situation, they got a $32,000 car. Okay? And if you had a $32,000 car, that would scream stupid. Okay? And I'd be going, sell your stupid car. Okay? You have a $9,000 car. That's not crazy. It's we got to get rid of the debt. You can't breathe and life's not good. I'm not discounting that situation, but I don't see a single item that if I pull that lever, it changes things quickly. You don't have a single item because you got a lot of little ones. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes, sir.
So what that ends up telling me is a couple of things. One is the two of you resetting your minds and committing to, we are going to manage money instead of it managing us.
Yes, sir.
There's kind of a roar, like, ah! I am so freaking tired of this, that we are not going out to eat. We are not going on vacation. We are selling so much stuff the kids think they're next, and we're going to do a written budget, and we're going to stick to it. And we're not going to buy crap on the internet or crap at Costco or crap in the mall. And you kind of got to get mad. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, my husband's kind of reached that place. He is so tired of working so hard.
Yeah.
It's like there's
But you got to reach it. You got to reach it because you're the full-time home economist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, which means pinching these pennies, consignment sale clothes. Our kids at the Ramsey house grew up in experienced clothing, okay?
Right.
So, I mean, and then they went to college debt-free, okay? And now they're grown-ups, and none of them are in counseling due to the clothing that they didn't get. So,
right.
So, I mean, the stuff that we all do in America, and Danielle, you are not doing anything dramatically stupid, but you're doing a lot of little tiny stupid things that are killing y'all.
Right. That's exactly right.
And that's going to be where you can give your husband a back rub by saying, I'm going to be the coupon queen. I'm going to cook from scratch and save money. I'm not going to whine about going out to eat or going on vacation or whatever. And we're going to start punching this stuff in the face, and I'm emotionally going to carry 60% of this this crusade that your family's getting ready to go on to get your life back.
Right.
Because your credit card debt was just when you got disorganized, sloppy, and lazy.
Yes, it was the worst thing we ever did was to get a credit card.
Yep, but I mean, it's just, you did not do a single thing with credit cards that was silly. You did lots of little things.
Right.
And by the way, that makes you kind of normal, but normal sucks. We don't want to be normal anymore. It's not fun.
Right.
All right.
No,
So
it's not.
then he's going to be more energized because he's going to start seeing traction from his hard work, and he can work 70 instead of 60 for a short period of time. Because right now he thinks he's going to have to do this his whole life, and I'm saying he's going to have to do this for 2 years. I can do anything for 2 years, but I can't do it for 20.
Right.
And so right now he feels like a rat in a wheel because he's working all the time and getting nowhere.
Right.
But if we're working all the time and we're making traction and we got rid of that credit card, then we got rid of that credit card, then we got rid of that credit card, and now we got the car off. And God, think about what it'd be like to have no payments but a house payment around your place.
It'd be wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, Lord Jesus, this would be fun. This would be good.
Well, and Danielle, if you want to work, if you want to contribute financially, I wouldn't write off your ability, to figure that out. There's a lot of moms who watch an extra kid or two in order to get a little extra income. So, I mean,
dog walk for the neighbor. I mean, and involve the kids in it. You can do all kinds of crap that's $20 and $30 an hour, and do 10 of those things a week, and never be away from your kids. You can do all that while they're at school. So you're perfect. We think people like you are awesome because you are ready. That's why I'm excited for you. That's where all this volume's coming from. So you hold on. We're going to put you through Financial Peace University, you and your husband. It's a 9-lesson class. You hang on. We're going to pay for it. And I want you to call me back, and when you're scared and when you're beat up and when you don't know what to do, we're going to cheer you on. And then when you finally make it, we're going to do a debt-free scream together. So you hang on the line. Austin's going to pick up. We're going to take care of you, kiddo.
Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Our phone number, if you want to talk, is 888-825-5225. Nicole is with us in Orlando. Hi, Nicole. How are you?
Hi, good, and yourself?
Better than I deserve. Merry Christmas to you. How can we help?
Merry Christmas. So my question today is two-part question. The first part is, should I sell my payoff car to remove my debt quicker? And the second part also, should I get a fourth job as well?
How much debt do you owe?
So in total, I owed $143. Now I'm down to $90K. It's all my student loans, bachelor and master. Had no idea about student loans. And right now I'm making $83K. My income did up a great significant amount this year. So to give you a little background, my car is going for $24K per the dealership offer. And my three jobs is, one is being a medical social worker in the hospital field as a full-time position. The second one is a PRN, which is as needed. And the third one is being a social marketing for my family business.
Okay. No, I would not sell your car.
Okay.
Okay. Your car's fine. You're making really good money. You're not afraid of hard work, and you're game on. How long have you been working on this get out of debt plan?
So, Dave, to tell you the truth, I've been working on my debt journey since 2000, right when COVID came in, better to say, so almost in the middle-ish. So a year I have removed it, a lot of my debt, my credit, medical, everything you could think of, all gone, including IRS.
Yeah.
And then I had to stop because I needed a mental break. As a social worker, it takes a lot of impact of your mental health. So I took a break and was able to go on a mini vacation to take a deep breath, and now I'm getting back into it after 6 months.
So how many?
And Dave,
How many hours a week are you working?
So technically, I work 40 hours a week, but when I pick up my PRN, it will be about 60 hours in 1 week. And then when I'm working on my family business, I'm working to 80 to 100 hours a week.
So is the 83 based on the 83,000 you're making? Is that based on your primary job or all three jobs together?
All three jobs. My primary job is 61,000. My PRN is 3,000 in annual, and then my family business is 18.
Okay. Why would you work on the PRN for only $3,000?
To keep in the relationship of the organization, because that organization is very well known throughout the
I don't need a
state
relationship with a well-known organization. I need money.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So what I would do, and if I'm not going to sell the car, and I'm not, is I'm going to do the most high-paying thing because I want to get this over with. Then I'll worry about long-term plays, which the PRN's a long-term play. A cash grab is a short-term play, and right now you're looking for short-term plays. Right.
Dave, can I ask you a question? I see you like a father figure because I don't have a father in my life. If I go ahead and let go of the PRN, would it be an option of keeping it and signing up for more days and hours with them? Because while I'm off at my primary job, I can pick up the weekends. And I'll be working every single day, but I can do my family business at night and then the hospital days throughout the week.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
The thing is here, what I'm looking for is what gets you out of debt the fastest, because that is your best career move.
Okay.
Now, if you I don't think you're going to lose the PRN by setting it on the shelf for 18 months, are you?
It's either I have to give 2 days out of the month to be permanent in that position, in that second job.
Okay, but I'm saying you can go back to that job.
Oh, yes.
If you just said, you can still go be PRN, but you just have to restart is all.
Yes, I can do that as well.
So all I'm asking is, where do you make the most money?
My full-time position, but I'm not able to do overtime.
Okay, for your side jobs, where you're because all we're doing here is, if you can make $15,000 more at one of these things than another on the side gig, let's go do that and get this debt gone that much faster, and before you run out of steam again.
Right.
I'm also wondering, how attached are you to the full-time job? Because with a master's degree and the experience you have, there's a chance you could get a higher paying job as your primary, potentially getting you up to that 83.
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that question. I'm actually put a pause on my LCSW so I can remove which is licensed clinical social worker. I put that on a pause because my debt was overbearing me. So if I go ahead back on track setting and pass my license, I can up my annual income and get a different side job by maybe
How long would
more
that
than
take?
20 grand. To get the date of exam, it will take about approximately 2 to 3 months. And then after that, I can know on the spot if I passed or not.
Okay.
But it's depending.
So if we don't do that and we say, all right, we're going to take the most efficient, highest paying cash grab, are you out of debt in a year and a half?
I want to do less than a year, to be honest with you.
$90,000?
Yes, sir.
You don't pay off less than a year on making 83. You don't pay off 90.
Well, I'm getting another job or removing the PRN and go to a different job and making more income, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. But if you're going to have to get your income to 130 to pull it off in a year, or 120 anyway, pull it off in a year. If you can do that, that's fine. But I'm with you. Then let's go let's make the move up and that kind of stuff. Because We're not talking about a 3-year journey here. We're talking about a 12, 14, 16-month journey. And, you know, I'm going to give up a few long-term plays right now to get this out of the way and be done with it forever and ever. Amen. Because the beautiful thing is, once you kick Sally Mae out, she ain't coming back. And that's what I want her in your rearview mirror. She's an ugly woman. This is The Ramsey Show. Christina Ellis, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you're here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you've gone through Financial Peace University, chances are it's because someone in your life lit a fire under you. Your mom or dad gave it to you as a gift. Your pastor offered it to you at the church. Maybe a mentor at work or a friend that just wouldn't shut up about FPU. That's the best kind of friend, by the way. So you finally took the class, you started working the baby steps, now you got out of debt, you're on your way to being a baby step millionaire. Now you can return the favor and light a fire under someone else. This Christmas you can give someone you care about Financial Peace University and share the same hope that you've discovered with money. When you give FPU as a gift, they won't just get the course, they also get the premium version of Every Dollar and group coaching with our team of financial coaches. So this Christmas, give the people you care about a gift that actually matters. It's called hope. It's called freedom. To give Financial Peace University as a gift, go to RamseySolutions.com/GiveFPU. That's RamseySolutions.com/GIVEFPU. That's how it works. Christina Ellis, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Amy is with us. Amy is in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
All right. Well, my question is, do I pay off my mortgage? So here's my background. I'm 37. I'm married with 3 kids. I am currently homeschooling my kids, so I am not working. My husband works full-time, and we are kind of at the point where we're struggling to make ends meet. I'm having a hard time convincing him of a budget. So that's where we're butting heads. So my mortgage, or I should say our mortgage, is at $263,000. I inherited a bit of money from my father about 14 years ago when he passed. It has helped us through lots of problems. We've paid off a few mortgages here and there. And I've just been kind of tossing the idea around, should I take out some money and get rid of this mortgage?
What's a bit of money? How much money is there?
Well, it currently sits, with this lovely market, it currently sits about $800,000. So
what does your husband make a year?
He currently is making $65,000 plus commission, and commission is, kind of not hit or miss. He's still building up clientele. So I'm going to give it about an extra $20,000 a year.
So when you paid off the other mortgages, you didn't change your habits and continued to drain this inheritance a little bit at a time because you've refused to be disciplined?
Most likely, yes.
Is that what you told me or not?
No. Yes, that is correct. And we had, so we built our current home, had it paid for.
Why is this one
different? Because we decided to start a business, and so we.
When you pay off this mortgage and you still have no discipline, why is this time going to be different than the other times?
I know. It's come down to, do I go back to work and send the kids to school?
No.
And
Nope. It didn't. No, it didn't. It's come down to it's time for you all to decide to be grown-ups and manage this money instead of leaning on this inheritance to allow you to continue to be undisciplined.
Yes,
that's what it's
correct.
come down to. So
Yes.
it's the husband
And
on
I
the
am
budget
ready,
thing. It's
and
you
I'm-
on a budget thing. It's the two of you learning to
Yeah.
live on what you make.
Right, right.
If you do that for 6 months, I'd write a check and pay off the house.
These mortgages that you've paid off, were they on your primary residence or do you have rental property?
No, we don't have any rental property. So, and, you know, we kind of started out with a smaller house, you know, had that paid off and then took that, you know, obviously what we made from that, put it on the next house. And
This is not sustainable.
Right. Yes. Yes.
It's not sustainable. And you,
Yeah.
you know, doing something else and trying to figure out a way to make it sustainable. Because what you've got to do is you got to get a set of habits, you and your husband communicating, you guys living on a written game plan, and you're setting goals, and we're being grown-ups instead of just kind of like, I'll just go over there and get some money out of that inheritance. Every time I have
Right,
a
I
problem,
know.
instead of addressing the issues in my mirror, I'm just going to go over and hit the inheritance. Am I picking on
Yes.
you too hard? Does that mean?
No, I just wish somebody else was here to hear that as well.
Well, you can play it back. It'll be
so-
on the podcast.
Oh, good. Yes, and you know, other than that, we're debt free, and the only additional, aside from normal, you know, monthly expenses, is child support. So, you know, I feel like if we just need to get our act together and get on
Yeah.
the same page with a budget. And
Yeah, you're covering. You're treating the symptom instead of the problem.
right,
And that's what I'm picking on you about, because it's not good for you. It doesn't affect us, obviously. We're going to hang up and go on with our lives. But for you guys, I want you guys to have this sense of power as a couple, that having a written game plan and aiming at something together for the future holds. Because if you can function, and I think you could function beautifully on his income without a mortgage. But I don't want you to function on his, to not even, because your track record is you're going to pay off this mortgage and then you're going to continue to be sloppy and go back into debt again. That's your track record.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Because you never treated the core issue.
Well,
Right,
Amy,
right.
you said your husband's not on board, but are you on board? Like, are you ready?
I am. I have been so ready. I think I have 3 of your books sitting on my on my desk that I've been reading, and I'm ready to kind of, you know, punch out numbers and go. And
Well, let's get him
in.
into Financial Peace University, and the two of you start doing that together. And the way that sounds is this, and we're going to give it to you free, okay? Because we want to help you with
Okay.
this. And so if you're asking for like the doctor to give you a prescription to take to the pharmacy, okay, here's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the two of you are in agreement like never before, and you're managing your household in a way that makes you proud.
Mm-hmm.
The two of you together for 6 months, and then you'll look at each other and write a check and pay off the mortgage, and you'll be just fine, because you will have fixed the
Okay.
underlying thing, and we're not going to leave everything in danger. Because
Sure.
so that's what I would have you to do, and we'll help you do that. We'll put you guys into Financial Peace University, and so the way that sounds then is when he gets home is not he's the bad guy. He's not the bad guy here. You're the bad guy. Both of
Right.
you are the bad guys. But it's not. There's not a bad guy. That's not the point. But you both allowed this situation, and
Right.
it's not like grotesque laziness. It's a minor laziness. Like you're 10% lazy. You're not 90% lazy. You kind of know what to do, and you're doing okay, but you've accepted okay. And usually the enemy of awesome is not bad. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay is the enemy of awesome, because you can kind of get by on okay. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that I want you to get out of okay into awesome. That's all I'm begging you to do. So the way you just sit down with him and just say, listen, I want you to do this for me. The two of us go through these 9 lessons together in the next 3 weeks before the first of the year.
Okay.
And then at the first of the year, we need to sit down as a couple and have a vision for our future. And let's lay that out, because the stress of this and this gnawing thing that we're slowly eating away at this inheritance instead of dealing with our core issues. It's driving me
Yes.
crazy, and I need you to do this for me. Do it as this is my Christmas gift. I want you to go through these 9 lessons with me.
That's a cool Christmas gift.
Yeah, and just, you know, he loves you, and say this is an act of love to your wife. I know you don't want to do it. I know you don't want to deal with it, but I want us to sit and go through these 9 lessons together. And let me just tell you, if the both of you sit and watch all 9 of these lessons in the next 3 weeks, he'll be on board. I'll get him. I know how to do it. You get him in financial peace, I'll get him on board. So hang on. Austin will pick up, and we'll get you guys signed up as our gift. Merry Christmas. Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They are the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Always use the promo code. It's magical. The name is Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Ariana in Maryland. My husband and I are on baby steps 4 through 6. Our children are 11, 9, 4, and 3. We've been putting around $1,000 a month into their 529s, but much more into the 11 and 9-year-olds since they will be going to college sooner. However, I was wondering if it would be smarter to put more money into the younger 2 children's 529s since there's a lot more time for that money to grow. We've told our kids we will cover the cost of in-state tuition in full and don't want them taking out any loans. Woohoo, I like that. Our annual income is $350,000 a year. We have $315K left on our mortgage, and we hope to pay it off in the next 5 years. We currently pay $2,500 a month in childcare for the 2 younger kids, so I'm thinking we could cash flow college for the oldest 2, even if we have a little left on the mortgage. That's a great question. There's a lot to unpack there.
They're doing a good job.
Yeah, and they've got great income, so that's awesome. And I love that they've already put that line in the sand that loans aren't an option. I think the biggest thing right now is just getting super tactical and getting a really clear vision of, what exactly are those numbers that need to happen in order to make, cash flowing college realistic. So, right now it sounds like the numbers are kind of squishy. You guys are doing a great job putting $1,000 a month away, but I want you to get onto a college savings calculator, which we have one at RamseySolutions.com. You can search college savings calculator, and you can actually type in the college you're thinking about and how much longer you have until your kid's going to college, and then see how much you need to be saving per month in order to hit that goal. So, figure that out. Also, if you want to get super tactical, sit down with a SmartVestor Pro who can kind of see your whole financial picture, and they can do the same thing. They can walk you through how much you need to be saving each month for each kid in order to reach that goal. And then once you have those numbers down, it's really about prioritizing what's most important to you. So, paying off the house, that's also awesome. And if you find that to save for the 4 children, it's a little bit more than you want to do in terms of the balance between the house and savings. I mean, that's going to be more a decision of what's right for your family, because you could, with a $350K a year income, you've got a really good shot at cash flowing that.
Yeah. So mathematically, if you said, I want enough in the 529 when each one of them get there to pay cash for in-state tuition and dorm and books, okay? Then you get that number and be very clear, as Christina said, and you say, okay, then based on that, for the 11-year-old, I have to save X. For the 3-year-old, I have to save Z. And you can come up with the exact number you need to be saving. And if, when you add all 4 of those numbers together to fully fund it, you say, oh, I don't want to do that. That's too much. I'd rather put more towards the mortgage and come up short on one. But if you were to do that fully funded idea, you're going to see that the 11-year-old's a lot more than the 3-year-old, because, as you said, I mean, as she, Ariana says in the email, she's correct that, it's closer to college, so you don't have much time. So it's going to take a minuscule amount for the 3-year-old versus what it takes for the 11-year-old. You got 7 years and 6 years and, versus 15 years. So it's a whole different, really substantial difference on the math. So you would be putting in more for the older ones if you choose to fully fund all 4 simultaneously. So that's what the math tells you. So I'm going to kind of lean that direction even if we choose not to fully fund and put more towards the mortgage. Now, if you choose not to fully fund, you say, okay, I'm going to need $130,000 for the 11-year-old. I'm just making up a number, okay? And I'm only going to be at 90, okay? So I'm 40 short. The way I'm going to cover the 40 is I'm not going to have daycare anymore, and I'm going to be making $350. We're going to cash flow 40. We're going to have the 90, okay? And so if you're going to come up short, then you're saying out loud, I'm going to cash flow that much more when they do get there. And so what I would do is either fully fund all of them with unequal amounts, heavier on the 11, lighter on the 3-year-old, or underfund all of them with unequal amounts, and then plan to cash flow there, as you go there. Or option 3, you could say, we're going to cash flow the last 2 almost completely. The 2 older ones, because they're kind of separated out here, you got a 4 and a 3 and a 9/11. So you kind of got 2 buckets worth, right? Because we're going to have the house paid off by the time the 3 and the 4-year-old get there. And we're going to 100% cash flow those, so we're putting hardly anything in theirs. That's another way you could run the math. Any of those will work. And it's just a matter of how you want to play it out. But it's a really great thing that you're paying attention. In both of our answers, what you heard was get more detailed in your analysis and in your decisions. So you're intentionally saying, I'm going to save in such a way that I'm going to be 40,000 short.
And you have those numbers down.
Yeah. And here's how I'm going to cover that 40. Or I'm going to save in such a way that I'm not going to be short for this kid and this kid, but the other 2, we're going to cash flow and we pay off the house. Or, but this idea, I'm putting in 1,000 and I think it's all going to be okay. No. You need to drill deeper. Yes. That's what you said, and I agree with you.
Yeah, and I've talked to so many parents who are just overwhelmed when they get to college costs that they kind of just stick their head in the sand and they don't want to think about it. But it's like you can actually tactically work through these numbers. They don't have to be so scary. They don't have to stay squishy. You can actually map these out, have a plan, even if it's intimidating. And even if you're going to be disappointed with how much you can contribute, I'd rather you, even if you're setting aside $25 a month in a 529 and that's not enough to cover the full cost of college, you're doing something.
For the first time since I've been on the air, it is an unknown what you're going to spend on that 3-year-old. You could have projected it, but now we've had this tremendous upheaval of higher ed brought on by their ridiculous expense because they just keep driving the tuition through the roof, the epic student loan crisis, and then they tried to charge everybody full price when they went home from COVID and tried to do it online at the same price. And everybody went, no, I am not paying full price with no college experience. Just because I go on the computer and take a test? No. So higher ed has got a real black eye right now, and a lot of people are choosing to say no college at all, which I don't believe in, or they're choosing to say no learning at all, no certifications at all. No, you got to have post-high school education of something to be a welder, a diesel mechanic, a coding expert with Ruby on Rails, or go get 4-year degrees, okay, in different things. But you need to go get post-high school education in something. But what you do it or how you do it is going to change. So a lot of stuff that 10 years ago we would have said a 4-year degree, now we're saying probably not. You're probably going to do some certs and some certifications, and you're probably going to rock on and have a life of continual learning, but not necessarily take the form of IV on the side of the wall.
Right. Well, the cool thing, though, too, with a 529 is it can cover that. It can pay for a lot of different certifications,
anything.
Trade school, whatever education looks like.
What I'm saying is that you can't predict, I'm going to go to this school and pay this because, A, that school might not cost what we think it's going to cost, because these things are going to get turned on their heads. People are pissed off at higher ed, and they're abandoning. So their ability to just charge whatever the crap they want to charge is gone.
But that doesn't mean don't plan.
No,
I don't
no,
want
no.
people to say,
No. But what I'm saying is you can't, if you project out the way we used to project out and you get 160,000 in your projections, it might not be.
Hopefully it's not.
I bet you it's not. I
hope not.
I bet you it's going to be less, because I think they're going to get it. I think they're going to get their nose punched in, and some of them are going to have to like straighten up and fly right.
Or income-based repayment will be a thing, and then people will go crazy with it. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
No, we're not doing that one. That's not the game.
Please God, no.
No. Hey, it's a great discussion. Be intentional and detailed. That's the sum of the answer. Our scripture of the day, Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. John Wayne said, courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway. Open phones this hour. Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host. Jennifer is with us in St. Louis. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm great. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up in your world?
What's up is I just found you. Where have you been all my life? I just found you about 2 months ago from a dear friend. She wouldn't stop talking about you. So I checked it out, and then I've been listening to you ever since. I'm just not quite to my confidence level for the question I have today, so I wanted to call in.
Fair enough.
So I'm working on my own baby steps, but this is for my son. I was never taught by my parents anything that you speak of at all. So this is all, I've been learning this the hard way for many years.
Most weren't.
Right. Should be taught in high school. But while I'm working on my own, my son is getting ready to turn 18. And after listening to one of your whole life episodes, I realized that I was paying for a whole life for him, and I switched it to term. And the cash out that is coming his way is only $2,500, but that's still money I've been putting away, I guess, with this for the past few years. So I'm not going to let him know that he has it. I just want to figure out what's the best step forward. What do I do with that $2,500? If I hand it to him, he's just gonna blow it. He'll be like, "Oh, this is awesome! I'm rich." He's gonna go spend some money. He's 17, but he's coming up in, his birthday's in January. How do I advise him, or what do I do with this money? Do I put it in a Roth? Do I put it in a 401k? Do I invest it
I wouldn't
somehow?
do either one of those. What was the purpose of you saving the money?
I really wasn't. I just
For his future, in quotes.
Yes.
Yeah, no, kind of vague. In other words, it didn't have a particular target.
It doesn't, and it's
Okay.
hard to find it because
Okay, so
he had a
anything he
job
spends it on short term, it was not your dream for this money. Your dream was
No.
long term.
he is set short term.
Well, he's a
We have-
17-year-old. Of course, he's short term.
Yeah, we have a plan for that, and where he's going. But for this money, no, it was meant for future, or at least the whole life that I thought he
Yeah,
needed.
is he going to college?
He has a GI Bill, but he's actually going to do an apprenticeship for a trade. I'm a tradesman, and
Cool. What?
he doesn't. I'm sorry.
What's his trade?
I'm a tradesman right now. He is actually going to go for either welding or plumbing.
Good.
He's testing him out to figure out which one he likes better.
That's fun. Okay. Well, he'll probably need the $2,500 to complete the whole apprenticeship program and get some of the certifications, won't he?
I don't think so because he has the GI Bill, which will cover.
It's going to cover everything. I guess it will. You're probably right. Okay. Okay. So you're if we could go back in time for the rest of our listeners, we would have started this discussion many, many years ago, so that he didn't feel like he hit the lottery. So in other words, if it's always best if you can start talking to a 10-year-old about what it's going to be like when he's 18, and that this money is a responsibility, not a lottery winning. This is not a Vegas weekend. This is an opportunity to do wonderful things for your future, and this $2,500, if played right, could be worth $250,000 to you. Whether it's invested in education, whether it's invested, period, whatever it is. So you start talking about, that money is a responsibility. It's not a woohoo. But you're behind on that. So you got an 18-year-old, 17-year-old. You got to just start that discussion cold. And so I'm not bringing up the $2,500 today, but I'm also not going to hide it indefinitely. I'm just going to put it over in your checking account and go, okay, or not in your checking account, put it in a separate savings account. You earmark it for him. And then sometime in the next 3 or 4 years, figure out with him as you continue some discussions. But it might sound like, hey, I'm learning some new things, son, and I wish that I didn't learn them this late, but you're going to get the benefit of those things I'm learning about money as we go along. So there's some money set aside and earmarked for you. I'll come back to that later. It's not yours today, but it's there to help you get some of these things done, just like that GI Bill's here to help you get some of these things done. And so as we walk together and we make some great decisions for your future, and you make some great decisions for your future, maybe it helps you buy a house someday. Maybe it helps you finish up one of your certifications if the GI Bill didn't cover it, or maybe it's there. But this is not a chance for you to go to Vegas, or it's not a chance for you to, head to the Bahamas for the weekend or something. That's not what it's for.
Well, and especially, I've worked with so many 17, 18-year-olds and parents that encounter unexpected expenses with their education. And $2,500, that could make a big difference, especially if, there's unexpected certifications or books that come up that somehow aren't covered. So it's like having that money accessible is super important.
Now, for today, I'm going to go open a savings account in your name and set it in there. It doesn't need to earn any money. We've got to get through this transition right now.
Dave, I've got a question. So that money from the whole life insurance, is that technically the son's money, or is that her money?
It's her money. She's the owner of the policy.
Right. So that money's coming back to her. So that's not even technically
his. But it's in her name, and she's earmarked it for him. And you can give somebody $2,500 with no gift tax.
Mm-hmm.
So she can give it to him anytime. In her mind, it's his money. Am I right, Jennifer?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
But you're not legally obligated, is Christina's point, to give it to him. And so if he's going to be stupid on steroids, we're not giving it to him, right? Because we don't want to finance his stupid. We want to finance his future.
Well, and then there's not even really the obligation necessarily to tell him until you do want to give it.
No, but I want to begin the training.
I
want to begin to have this conversation and just lightly begin to let them know what's going on. And so we're training him over the next 18 to 24 months to make good decisions, or better decisions than he might today.
Well, and that's a great training ground, because you can train him and have those conversations, but there's no point at which he can say, hey, that's my money, give it to me, right? Like there's no point at which he can say legally.
Yeah, well, if he gets entitled like that, you don't have to give it to him. But yeah, that's true. You're not over the mom's not over a barrel if he goes cray-cray on her. Yeah, that's
right.
True. So yeah, that's true. That's a valid point. So you got a lot of power here to play this for his own good.
Well, and it gives a lot of freedom to really teach those lessons, and regardless of how it goes, like you're still in control of managing that money.
Yeah. And then just don't be, and if you kind of get to talking about it and you go, you know what, let's use this for your first house purchase, and you're probably going to do that at 25, and you're 18 now, so we got 7 years. Let's go ahead and talk to a mutual fund broker. You and I will go sit down with a mutual fund broker, and let's put this money in a mutual fund, and we'll both learn about how to do that, and we'll both do this have a meeting with a SmartVestor Pro and sit down. SmartVestor Pros, by the way, love meeting with 18-year-olds and doing $2,500 deals. They don't love doing $2,500 deals, but they love the idea that they're investing in the future with somebody and helping somebody that's getting started.
Well, and that's potentially a client for life. They're starting from the very beginning.
Yeah. I mean, they don't even make enough to cover the postage to mail the crap in, on $2,500. But that's not, but they still love doing it.
But if you can get an 18-year-old saving and investing, It's like the sky is the limit. That's how you get baby step millionaires who are 30. Or late 20s. That's just going to be really impressive. So hang on the line. Let's get her into Financial Peace University and let's have them go through it together. I think that'd be a really cool, mother-son experience.
That'd be fun. So hang on. Austin will pick up, and we'll get you guys signed up for that. So great show today, guys. Austin, Ben, James, Zach, Andrew in the booth. The booth dudes caused it to happen, as they always do. Christina, great show. Good job.
Fun times.
We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Have you been inspired to make a change with your money? Want to know where to start? Take our 3-minute money quiz to get a plan you can follow. Go to RamseySolutions.com and search for Get Started to get a plan for your money.